Hello. Oh, my microphone alarm fell on. That's a good omen for how things are gonna go. Okay, so for today, we have the lovely Holtwot playtest going on. Who knows how long it's going to be? Maybe an hour, maybe less, maybe more. Who knows? What I'm ready for is to just mess around on the server and maybe, I don't know, shoot a few guns or something. Do a little bit of a LARP. In whatever case, it's right here, and the game didn't pop up. Nice, I forgot to change the browser source. I'm so good at this. Hold on. Whole lot. There we go. And now you can see it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just gonna go right in. Hello. Let me make sure my audio is good. It is very nice. Alright, here we go. Here. Let me just type in chat real quick. There is a record of video for the devs in case of any bugs. So if you don't want that yourself to be on that, don't stand next to El Svietinia. There we go. Smile. Now, this is on a new database, so the current... Interesting. The new, playtimes are not currently up, so I'm just going to do the funny thing called taking this, putting this in my bag real quick. Hold on. Amazing. Now let's go get permissions. Okay. Yoink. Hold on. I'm gonna. Oh, who broke in? That wasn't even me this time. Okay. Yeah. Let's sort out our inventory. Put this on our belt. Combat meds go here. Book of Cain. Take this off. Transfer it over. Drop. Now we can grab the jetpack. Put that in there. I guess we can have a spare one. I'm fine with that. Combat gloves, yes. Lovely mag boots. Always a good idea to take that on. Very good. Actually, let's take the other one instead. Ugh. I'll break into the bridge, open up the armory, and we will have some fun. Unless it's already opened. Hold on, let's take a peek. Already open? Wow, very nice. Okay, I was told that armor is not currently working as it should, so that high DPS weapons, that'll be the 9x19 here, makes sense to me. I do want some grenades, so let's take one of these drop pouches. If we have both of these, then we don't need any of these tools. There we go. We'll have the multi-tool, that's fine. Gonna deal with drop pouches. This is the smart grenade, okay. .5 seconds. Whew, that's a quick fuse. Electromagnetic grenade. Okay, we'll grab these two as well. Rest I'll put in my bag, I suppose. I'm alright with that. We'll have a mass scanner, and that should be good. Very good. Oh yeah, we need magazines for our watchdog. So that's 9x19 SMG. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. How can we condense this a little bit? Put that down. Grenade there. And then we have our mass scanner. That looks like it'll work. So this... Oh wait a second. Armor doesn't mean anything currently. Then why do I shouldn't be wearing the pets yet then? Yeah. That makes sense to me. Okay. Just a space-worthy suit then. So Infanteer is actually going to be better for me. Since it moves just that little bit quicker. Want on the Ivorod. I was about to spawn a... What's it called? Vasenia. You want me there? I can come over. You can do that. Ivorods are fun. They're a little bit iffy though. I do like the Vasenia, and there is the slight bit of like, it's a bit fun with them. We're heading out and gonna sit in the ore belt. Godspeed. I'll outfit a ship and join you soon enough. Alright, let's grab the little, what's it called? Capsulette? I don't know what the actual word for it is called. I'll check when we get in here. It is called the... Let's just not worry about it, it's fine. We'll do that another time. There's some nice drip in there I like wearing, especially when it's low pop like this. I don't have to worry about a major coming on. Alright, so to make the Vasenia work, we're going to need to put on a new gyroscope for it. But that shouldn't be that bad. I believe you can just order it from the cargo console. I don't think it's that expensive either. Alright, Vanguard, Exuma, Vasenia. Here we go. Perfecto. Do 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 do. Oh, the classic. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. It's been so long since I've played this damn game. Alright, let's just double check to see what activities are going on over in DSM. Holy shit, they have a Laylips? That's surprising. Okay. Okay. Head on out of the bridge of Port Lovely Balreska. Port Balreska's got a bit of a charm to it. A fucking nap. That's crazy. You can't be having that. Hold on. I gotta do what I gotta do as the MVD officer on the station. Give me a moment. Alright, head on over here. Oh my gosh. Fine. For the live, I'll do it. If you have elite ball knowledge, you already know what I'm about to do. There we go. Whoever left a nap passport on Port Balreska, get a new passport. I took liberty in cremating it for you. Oh boy. I'm going to shoot you! Well, no, I'm not gonna shoot him. When we have more population, I'll shoot him, but not right now. Just a little bit of tomfoolery. Okay, let's spawn our ship here, Vatsinia. Lovelies and roots. Let's grab our mass scanner. Make sure you always grab one. If you are experienced, you don't really need to grab a GPS. You can just kind of get anywhere with a jetpack and make it work. There we go, Vatsinia right there. Lovely. Okay, so we need to equip it. So let's quickly run down here and get the mech going. Hasn't been outfitted yet. Here we go. Alright, Volgan. Your picture is my body armor, alright? If I die, it's because Volgan didn't protect me as much. Let me just make a ping in there. Hold on. Let me go to Volgan's yacht. Volgan is another player. Hasn't played in a while, however, they are very present in the game. If you go down over here, that is Volgan. Right there. Quickly message him. Just for the funsies. Oh shoot! Wow, chat messages didn't actually send for me, god damn it. Okay, let me catch up on here. God's greenest. Are we carrying alcohol for extra over health mid-fight? I think we are going. We can do that. Why not? Yeah, we'll do that. Dr. Demented can confirm and Doctor curse these DSM bastards in their functioning war economy. Yeah, with the lay lips already. God damn. Would you spawn as Union Worker? Yes, I spawned as Union Worker because this is a new database and I do not have the playtime for it yet. Anything else? I just finished my shift on Frontier. 4 hours of Frontier. Good luck on that. That's... Welcome back. Volgan does protect. I mean, hopefully. I'm sure it'll tank like a bullet, right? Surely. Where is... The alcohol is on the other side of the station. Ugh. We'll grab it in a bit. Grab it in a bit. Okay, so what we need is a 120mm shell and one of the 35s. I'm happy with that. AP's fine. Alright. And our 120mm. I don't think any of the ships we have currently use. I'll take one. I'll take one. And I'll buy another. I'm pretty happy with that. Here we go. So we need a gyroscope crate. We'll grab 2 of them. And we need a 120mm. 7,000. Here we go. Perfect. Let's see what we say. Frontier Hypatia is a long shift server, mostly RP. Yeah, I have heard of it before. It's been so long since I've played there though. My my ship fork of choice is, well, Holwat here. You finally learns to load with the mech. I'm ecstatic. Yeah, thankfully. I am going to bring a combat mech as well though. Also, there's some elite ball knowledge. The what's it called? Exuma cannon. That there's an Exuma cannon in over by where this spawns that you can put into the mech, and it does the same explosion as the ship-based Exuma bolt, and has infinite charge. So there's something to be said there. You could have some funny business with that. It doesn't have any armor though, but that's whatever. Also, mechs are going to be very, very strong right now since armor has been reworked and the actual armor plates has not been actually pushed to the server. So everyone's armor is dog water at the moment, except for the mechs, because I believe the mechs didn't get a change like that. So that's gonna be interesting. Okay, so gyroscope and gyroscope. Move that here. Then multi-tool. Ah, shit, hold on. Cutting. Here we go. No room? Hold on. That can't be right. Right in the middle. Let's give it as much room as possible, I suppose. How odd behavior. Did my first exploratory mission today. I died. I didn't know the music meant get the fuck out, lol. Yeah, I believe expeditions only last for a certain amount of time before they just kind of explode. Right? Hold on. What does it say here? The multi-tool to unpack this. Yeah, that's what I'm trying at least. No room. No room. Okay, maybe if we quickly go outside. I don't want to put it outside, but we can put it outside. Oh, that works. Okay. Let's now unanchor it and then we can move it to somewhere else. So if that works, then I'll put it there too. No? There we go. Then unanchoring. Fuck. That did not do what I meant it for it to do. I believe screwdriver will repair it, right? There we go. Anchoring, that's what I meant. Let's not totally screw this up. There we go. And... anchor, anchor. Perfect. Now, hopefully, with 3 gyroscopes, the Vacinia will turn, because gyroscopes have also been majorly changed. They move larger ships a lot slower. So this is almost a required thing to use the Vacinia at this moment during the playtest, so... we do what we can, Okay, now that we have finished... no, we aren't quite done. Uh-huh. This is one of my favorite little mods to do with the Vacinia. It makes it so much easier. Whoa, don't do that. Hold on, there. Anchoring. Oop, that's the wrong way. Rotate again. Last console, we are almost ready to go out. Don't worry, don't worry. Whoops, that also turned. Whoops. And there we go. Okay, now our last little do in order before we leave and go over to Craster's grave is to return this logistics mech back to the docks and bring our combat mech on board. Because I don't know about you, but there is one thing that happens almost every single time I play the Vacinia. Oh, hold on, let me see what you said. I did risky stuff this shift. I did salvage out of a camper class ship, Lamau. I mean, as long as it works. If it works, it works, right? Every single time I fly to Vacinia, that ship there, I get boarded by someone and I either die or I use the mech I brought on the Vacinia and shoot them to death. Which is certainly a way to deal with boarders, you know? So every single time I fly the Vacinia, now I grab the... Anyone else here? I am present. How are you? This might be our gunner here. That would work. I'm pretty happy with that. It's all I could afford. Made 30k profit. I mean, profit is profit. Money does exist here, and you use it to do that little mod I did there with adding more gyroscopes. However, it's not as important in a place like Frontier, because everything is more factional. It's way less of just me flying out there. I'm more flying out there to do things for Balleska. You know what I mean? Isn't up for testing. Alright, Hypatia had a bank system. My first tune had 350k so far. Yeah, that's pretty good. That can get you places. Let's see. Silk Song, are you in need of tasking? Let's see, what do they have over here? Ivolod and Laylips are staring down each other. Laylips is pulling away. The Ivolod is scaring them away. That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, just arrived. Would you like to be my gunner loader tech? There we go. Gunner loader tech, that works. I'm not pretty happy with that. That's fun times. So far, no lag. No lag so far. Sounds good. Whereabouts may I find you? North Dock. I'll meet you there. Alright. I shouldn't have the oxygen on. That's a mistake. GP1? What the hell? Polymer gas mask polarized glasses lenses. The smoke has integrated combat filters. Okay, that's really interesting. I didn't know we had a separate gas mask there. I'll put it on. Welcome back. Of course. So I played with this fellow a few days ago when it was just a few people. A bunch more people here because this is an official playtest. They still have a bank. I had a stroke 6 years ago. Hand is tired from 4-hour shift. I mean, I'm sure... I think my hands would be tired from a 4-hour shift. I do not doubt that your hands are also tired. Like, whew. Boy. Out and about, and a presence from DSM. Do you have any combat equipment on you? I'm assuming probably not. In a moment, shall I grab some? Aye. Oh, right. Yeah, this is a new player. I want to make sure this player has a good time. Because they're new, you know? Alrighty. Remember, Space Look is going to save your life. And if you don't use Space Look, you're going to die to someone who is. So always be sure to use it. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Right over here is security. All opened up. I'm seeing this. I believe the admin just deleted doors. That's a little funny, but you know, whatever. Interesting. That looks cool. Alright. Oh, hold on. Let me open that for you. I never space look because it's too disorienting, though I don't frack, so... You know what? That's fair enough. The disorienting, I can absolutely understand that, especially when you start, like, rotating the screen and mouse looking at the same time. Oh yeah, that gets pretty rough. Oh, I'm stuck. Okay. Remember, jetpack, mass scanner, grenades if you want them. Okay. I will say it is better to blow up a part of your ship with a grenade than it is to die to a boarder. Hot take there. If you need to use grenades in order to kill a boarder, use it. Alright. Combat brakes reporting for duty. Welcome to the station brakes. They're chains. I am currently outfitting a new comrade, and we will be departing for Craster's grave. S scanner is in a vendor a little to the northeast. Got everything else? Just make sure. Yeah, that makes sense, alright. Do I need a gun? Yes. Bring a gun. Bullet tar is pretty good. You want to go for the Nova Mosin? Oh, you go. You got 12 gauge. Okay. Hold on. I do. It is. Alright, there we go. And I don't have room for another one. Actually, I do. I do have room for another one. Just in case. Alright, let's go. Wait, I don't even have a gun. Where the fuck did my gun go? Close bolt. Here we go. Have air? Yes, very good, very good. Next up, we need a mass scanner, which I'll buy for you. There you go. To be ready. I am sure Hell of Zvetinia and Silksong Freemoth here are going to survive for a long time. I have a welding tool for the mech, very good. Big slowdown, some protection from bullets with no plate, but still very weak. Okay. Indeed. Here we go. Slight mod I did. Rotation back. More rotation factor. Good to do. Oh wow. Alright. More gyros to make the ship rotate more? Indeed. More extra gyros to offset a gyro nerf. Haha. Exactly. That is exactly why I did it. So, during the fight, whenever we do so, I'm going to call out sides of the ship to load. That way, I can shield you from fire. Like, I say left side, you load the left side guns while I present the nose or side. Nose or right side to the enemy. Keep you alive. There you go. I have a Felinid 2. I have immunity to the coronavirus disease. We'll see, we'll see. I mean, there's always more to do with the Atrean here. Got it. Alright. One was about Tanya. Oh, so we did lose a border. That's a little interesting to know. Okay. Vasinia departing from Balreska on course to assist with the occupation of Craster's grave. Here we go. Let's take a peek. Okay, the rotation is still pretty bad, Proto. Don't use Vas. Aw, I can't use Vas? Use sausage. Aw. And this is... Never mind. Hold on, let me talk to this new player here. We are returning to Balreska. So I have been told that in this play test, I should be slapped around for using the Vasinia and not one of the vanguards or other ships. Oopsie daisy. So we'll swap over to a different ship. Okay, my main is a Harpy. I can sing midis by imitating instruments. Yeah, I mean, Harpies are pretty fun. They are not present on Whole Lot, though. I will say that much. So just testing, or shouldn't use this in general? For testing, this is a play test at the moment. Later is getting other DSM charts, so you guys need another Ivorod or respawns. I would appreciate another Ivorod pretty please. There we go. Alright, it seems we have a Rogue, Nanotrace, and Borg in our Twitch chat. You know what we do with those? We slap them around. Hello, singular update 3-week ban. Alright, I have destroyed the Nanotrace and Borg. We're good. Alright, let's see. I'll leave out maybe adding some more thrusters to Ivorod, if only for forward and maybe the lateral acceleration. Plates aren't accessible currently since industry isn't done. I did not think this far ahead. Hold on. Collapse. Okay, boink and boink. I made myself a crew now, so I'm not trapped. Very good, haha. We'll have to take the ammo off this ship and put it on our new ship in a moment. Keep yourself busy on Balreska. I'll shout in a moment. Make yourself a drink in the bar, maybe? Always good. Perhaps. Okay, let's take a quick peek here. Nothing I see immediately anyway. That's fine, that's fine. This got no changes and won't be in the baseline roster. Using it for playtest is worthless. So fair, so fair. Okay, we have a respawn here. I'm assuming that's the porter who was killed earlier. Don't have admin. Z-Link, send them another Ivorod. Yeah, okay. Okay, whoa, lag spike. Hold on. What happened there? Let's see. Call exception in Ent system. Pockets. While adding joint pull joint to Pixar chains, joint already existed for connected entity 35mm scout ammo crate. That's odd, but okay. Interesting. This is what a playtest is for, I suppose. My ship is fucking broken. How broken? Hold on, can it not turn? Docking ports do not work. Ah, fuck. Ah, fuck is right. Fuck. Unloading the Vasinia in order to load a new Ivorod direct from Chen Grids in a moment. Carry on. I've completely forgotten where these go. Leave it there for now. Need any assistance? Could always use more souls on the Ivorod, I mean. Sound it's true though, I have no aim. I mean, we all have a little bit of a skill issue with aim sometimes, you know what I mean? How many are needed? Let's see. Loader, gunner, pilot. 3. Who's on station? Pause and Maximus Atric. It's just me and Hell on the ship we were going on, I think. Let's calm my brakes. I'm on station. 2 more reporting in on Balreska, Hell, and Silksong. Silksong. There we go. Come to the bodega. We have a bodega too. Okay, I guess. Bog is pretty good. Bog is pretty good, but I do like the Ivorod a lot more for its armor. I'll return in a moment with ammo. Thank you, comrade. If you need ammo, tell me. Just a little bit of funny Amina boost. We love Amina boost when it's in our favor. I mean, it's a playtest, so it's not really that big of a deal. Alright, so they took the ammo there. Let's quickly unwrench this. Then we can pick it up with our mech as well. There we go. Perfecto. Did you load it? No, I believe you're talking to the bodega person. Oh, I forgot to close this. There we go. There's some weird error going on. Let me just put that up for whoever coder is watching currently, just in case. The IVA main guns are hooked to the shuttle computer. You just give up missile PD. Okay, interesting. Oh, breaks the chains is going to the bodega. Understood. Understood. Whoa! Whoa. Oh no. Oh no, what happened? That was scary. Okay, there is some lag starting to pop up. Okay. Where did they spawn the Ivolod? I have absolutely no idea, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Is it just in here? No, it's not. What's just random tactical rigs? What? Odd. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Vanguard, Bodega, Ivolod. Here we are. Now, I do not know what guns the Ivolod has on it. We'll have to see. Ivolod. Ivolod is in the south dock. Understood. Okay, let's see what we have here. I'll bring the mech with. Because I'm going to have to bring it over. Might as well bring it over now. Yeah, this is always the like nice relaxing part of whole lot. Just getting ready to go out and fight. Getting everything ready, getting ammunition sorted, doing any modifications to ships. Figuring out who your crew is. Though that's probably my least favorite part. But, you know, it has a certain charm to it. Uh-oh. Lag spike. What happened here? Was trying to load music, I see. So this one has been remapped, I can tell from the lights. Yeah, very cool, very cool. Here is the cockpit. We have 50mm strikers, cool. Whoa, whoa. What do we have? What do we have? Whoa. Open up the... There it is. 50mm striker batteries. Is that all? Oh. The can groups don't work. Uh-oh. Understood. How is... The radar works? Yes. Alright. Do we all have just 50mm strikers and that's it? We have 15mm harvester revolver cannon. Oh, that's point defense. Okay. It's not activated though. Yeah, I don't think it's linked yet. That is weird indeed. Light on. Assuming PD again. Yes. Okay, so 50mm striker ammo is what we need. Understood, understood. 50mm ammo on the Ivolod at Balreska, pretty please. Seems our telescope look-up tick game system is sending an update every single tick instead of only when it's used. Oh my god, that's awful. Alright, understood, but holy hell. Next up, what do we need? I don't really like this being here, I'll be completely honest. No. That's it. Do I need a screw? Here we go. Let's bring this down. Because obviously... the shell is the only thing working. The gunly console seems to be a bit fucked up, sadly. Alright, let's see. Showed the ammo pool, so I think the PDTs are linked, but just not showing as groups for some reason. Yeah. Also, the 50mm strikers are not too, so I'm assuming these are just on a fixed mount, I suppose? If we look at here. No, it shows up now. What? Interesting. Oh wow, they do shoot fast. Okay. Cool. Alright, let's open up the front. Open! Open! Okay. Let us do this. Oh my god, hold on, I just saw something. The PDTs? Oh no. Yeah, big bully set of 50mm batteries for frontal firepower. This is going to cause an issue with entities because if it has a bullet casing for every single bullet it fires and it's a PDT firing hundreds of... That's no bueno! No bueno! I don't know about that, boss. Who's flying this bog? I believe that's Breaks Their Chains and someone else. Might have forgot to set cartridges to auto delete on spawn. Maybe. That sounds about right, honestly. Do I want to be even more of a shitter and move it even further back? I think I do. I think I do want to be a shitter. Let's go be a shitter together. Forever. I'll move this right behind me in case of borders. In fact, that actually might do a very good treat. Hold on. Ungrateful players modifying my divine mapping layout. Open your console for EB, please. Yep, hold on. Gunly console or the shell console here. Toggle port, starboard, full, module D and module E. Then renaming mode. The game console. Oh, oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. I'll let you take a peek here. Screenshot this and send it to me. Okay, hold on. I can do that. It is a playtest after all. Evergreen Bloom. Send message. I mean, I need to find you in my list here. Okay, there. There you go. One pristine screenshot. The fax machine, never mind. Alright, Silk Song. Are you on Balreska? Hmm? This is evil. I realize what I'm doing here is incredibly evil. Okay. Very fun. Bling the mech? Yes, in the bar. How are the drinks today? How are the drinks today? That's it, I'm deleting those air cans. Yeah, that is... You... Locomotoda, you know exactly what I'm doing here. You realize the evil I'm bringing by doing that. But I'm not. Perhaps I pulled them a bit too strong, but I'm not driving, so it's okay. Sounds golden to me. So we need 50mm autocannon. It'll be in here, right there. Ship going. I am getting ammo in. We will be ready to depart in a moment. Bring me a vodka bottle and a smile. Alright. Chekhov's air cans. It exists and doesn't exist, depending on whether the, what's it called? PR is merged or not. Hold on, other one. Go, and there we go. Okay, here we go. Gyroscope and gyroscope. Boink. Perfect. Sneaky, sneaky. This is that. Need to get into the actual room at the front here. Here we'll put down a 50mm striker. That's in the wall. Shit. I'll take care of that in a moment, I suppose. That's not a hard thing to fix though, so it's fine. Okay, time to return the logistics mech of myth and legend. Uh-oh. Lagged out. That's not good. We'll be back soon in a moment, I'm sure. Uh-huh. Okay. We'll just drag you over. Come on, Atrean friends, to fight we leave. Wow, that's not a sentence. What the hell? Okay. Uh-huh. Now, push this back. Where about should I put this? Right by the console. Perfect. I'll show you where our weapons are. Your ship has a fax machine, bring it to the Balreska middle. This is what we rebelled from the Empire for? Hmm? Something like that. Put it in a book once. Alright, so let's show you the man, indeed. Anchoring to Psst, hey. ID in order? Hmm? All ready to go? So beware. Alrighty. You want to do a TDM playtest after this? That could be fun. Man, I'm on TV. It's true. Okay. Weapons. These fellows. Uh-huh. Hold on, I need to, like... Hold on. Ah, okay. Uh-huh. Alright. So. These are closer than the others. I will say though... This is right at the front. When you aren't actively loading, I recommend not being in this room. Wasn't planning on it. Sounds good. Is this loaded? It is loaded, it is bolted. Okay. These crates. Are they safe to keep open? I'm going to say no. Be careful. Haha. From now on, anytime you start lagging, stuttering, please spare me with your console. I'm trying to figure things out. Understood. I'll do my best. Alright. Time to depart. Oh shit, I forgot my, my hacking implant. Silly me. I forgot that. Quite dark here. Submarine of old. Okay. Do you have a tracking implant in? Now I can just bring them one too. I did start it here, so let me just quickly send that to Evergreen. Boink. Alright. Wait, not. I'll bring one. Silk Song. Me. We are getting tracking implants. Then this Ivorod will be ready to fly out. Thank you, EL. Yes. If you are wondering, anti-boarding air cans. It just makes it a bit harder to move. And a bit harder to move is going to be the thing that saves my life. Alright, cargo. We need tracking implants. Here we go. I know that it's probably just over by there. I'm gonna save a little bit of money. I don't even know if this database is going to be kept or not, so... The DSM ship ramming dock ships. What the fuck? Nice. We got borders. Okay. General quarters. Okay. Getting mech. We need to... On the main station. But... Sweeping the outside of the station. Okay, here we go, here we go. Let's... cycle to the machine gun. I need the combat mode on there. Okay, let's see, let's see. 7, can this be moved like there? Alright, let's check out the Redemptor real quick. Alright, what do we have here? Hold on, did I just see someone like was just standing right there? No, okay, Redemptor is disabled. Okay, let's take a peek at the Vasinia. Okay, I do see a chunk taken out of it. I'm assuming they boarded through it. Who the fuck are you? Brother? Surrender? You can't just... What? I found a border on the Vasinia. Okay, interesting. Okay, let's sweep the rest of everything. The power source is gone. Let's sweep the rest. Report status. Alive and well, Silk Song. Sweeping the station. I found and killed one boarder. Okay. Who are you? Oh, they're using psychic powers. Oh, that's fun. That's very Atreyan pilled. Very good. Very good. I like seeing psychic powers on the server. It's lovely flavor. Especially from the Atreyans, since that's like their thing. Okay, let's check the AME, make sure it's not overloading. Because you always gotta check the fucking AME on Balreska. It seems to always get targeted. Okay, it's green. Alright. Let's bring over the one guy who was on the Vasinia. I look with telegnostics and can't see them. Alright. Careful with saying you have psychic powers, Silksong, but yeah, careful with that. Okay. Get handcuffs. Oh, Black Spike, hold on. And send to them. Alrighty, that was a very quiet boarding, I'll be honest. Yep, the body's still here. boy, this is kind of silly, I'll be completely honest. And then go by fucking Councilman Omag. Do not drive the Councilman over to Baleska, pretty please. Hold on. No soul. Let's take a peek. Who are you? Klutcha. Interesting. Silk Song, ready to go? Backwater DSM breakaway. Something like that. Whole Lot is dehubbed. I don't see it in the silver list. Whole Lot is not dehubbed, however, it is also a playtest at the moment, so they are using a different IP. So this is a peek into something that's not currently out yet, if you would like to call it that. Fairly funny. I can't believe they just ran into... That's wild. Ready on the ship. On the way to the ship. Took care of the... Who's on Baleska now? Okay. Silk Song is on the Ivarod, ready to depart. Volodymyr just arrived. Unsure of anyone else. There you go. All we got are ibises. Oh no, not the ibis. Not another ibis. Oop. Thank you, thank you. Lovely. Good stuff. Border was of a noble class in DSM. Cigarettes, talking about this earlier. Actually, I love that you have psionic powers. Do not say you have psionic powers. I have since been informed that it is highly disconcerting to watch. True, but I worry more of powers that be outside of the NCWL. DSM can and will target you. So use powers with discretion. A round that will eat your brain. I'm in danger. So true. We are ready to go. We are ready to go. Map. What do we have here? Let's sally out to meet with the Vanguard, I suppose. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so there is an Ibis Lay Lips. Is there anything in... There's a Redemptor? Oh, Redemptor in Craster's Grave. Able to undock and intercept on orders. Every ship needs good gyros, especially NCWL. I put 2 more gyros in the Vanguard and it still turns like a truck. Is the Eifelrod going to fight? I believe the... I don't need to say that. I don't... The Eifelrod might be disabled. I think the... Okay. Yes, the... Oh my goodness. Chad McBrad. Welcome, Chad McBrad. McBrad. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. That's fucking... That's a crazy name to have in a playtest. Okay. Brad Mc... on stream. Okay. Oh, wow, it turns slow. Look at that. Come on, come on, turn! You got it. You got it. It'll save a life. Oh boy. Okay, we're almost good. That Redemptor. What the fuck is that Redemptor? That's a target? Oh my god. Hold on. Well, that kind of feels like shooting a puppy. I'm going to be completely honest. That felt like shooting a puppy. Shot a puppy. Outside Valeska. Puppy? Redemptor. Redemptor. It just died like a puppy. Hello, radar computer. Let's bring over the other computer as well, huh? We have the 2 mechs. Oh my god, that's crazy. Okay, we can do a boarding action real quick. Boarding action? I'm down for boarding. Getting close to the puppy. Anchor. Here we go. Alright. Out the back door. Okay, we're ready. Let's go see what's on it, huh? Okay, let's see. I need the combat and mass scanner. It's empty. No pilot? Wesker, sweep for borders. Because if they're not there, then they gotta be somewhere. If the pilot wasn't there, they must be somewhere. Must have failed to Valreska. The Redemptor pilot is gone. Check for borders on Valreska. Let's fucking fight, I'm bored. Okay, alright. Let's go out to Craster's then. Anything on Craster's? Ibis. Ibis incoming. Ah, well, to the Ibis then, you know? I saw it on the radar there. You take right, I'll take left. Let's go! Basically, the DSM and NCWL doctrines have flipped. DSM are now supposed to be kiting and getting shredded by NCWL's brawler guns if they make the mistake of letting NCWL get into range. Alright. Whoa! Whoa! Some... what's it called? Nonsense. I was ahead, far. Okay, targeting console. Yep, get on that. I'm on a 15mm, okay. 15mm is PD. Use the 50s. Okay. And there they are on the Ibis. 50s are fixed. Right. Okay. Okay, Ibis is still very much active. Let's rotate a little. Okay, adjust. Alright, we loaded. We are about to engage. I have a lot. Okay, they're going on the other side of the Redemptor. Let's move around. Launch Crossfire. Alright. Here we go. It's about to get wacky. Wacky tobacco. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Change my UI skill. Ah, that's very in roleplay, guys. Oh, rotate. Okay, here we go. Come on. Move. Rotate. Okay, into the back. Anchor. Rotate. Changing. Full battery. Whoa, Vanguard. Careful, Vanguard. Who landed? I can't believe they Isdom dived. That's wild. Isdom dive is a ramming action, if you didn't know. Alright, I believe we are out of ammo. Blur Dive Rod. That's alright. 50mm are the big hitters anyway. Look at him. Oh, breaks their chains, getting silly over there. What else is out and about? Oh, that Vanguard there. I think it's dead. We can do a boring action. You'll be gonna piss. I want to check for bodies. I'm going to assume whoever was on that is dead or they bailed. Look at me. Alright, let's cover them, huh? That Redemptor is inactive. Okay. Very good. Is that Redemptor something to worry about? It seems disabled. We can give it a few shots in a moment, though. Got a body. Aboard your ship. The IDs are of interest to Channing Goods. Check the... Next, I thought we were the ones to get equipment. Oh, this is odd. I'm not used to NCWL winning. NCWL winning is kinda odd. If you've played a whole lot before, it doesn't happen very often. Okay, moving to the Redemptor. Okay, let's cover them now. Alright. Your Vanguard badly damaged? I gotta ask, you know? Yes. Need to return it to port after we can remain in space. Space. Wow, my typing is so good today. Wow. Very good. Very good. Let's just watch a little longer. I wonder what to do with that Redemptor. Let's check ammunition loads, eh? Okay, empty. Empty. Oh, are we like almost out? Oh no. 20 shots. Okay, if they say that it's fully loaded, then that's fine. Returning to base. Godspeed, we will occupy Bastards. Okay. I don't think we got damaged that much. We're performing spacewalk to look at our damage. Wow, what is my keybinds all wacky, huh? Pull up mask. That on. Air. Okay. What do we have here? That didn't work. Okay, doesn't seem like the front is damaged at all. Very good, very good. Thruster is fine. Thruster's fine. Okay, that's fine. Would you look at that? It appears we are perfectly functional. Amazing. What the hell happened there? Hold on, lag spike. Let me quickly just... Okay. Boom. Send that over to our lovely developer friend. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. I'm the Vanguard near the count. Oh my god, we have a Vanguard by the countman? Oh my god, okay. Alright, Ivarod, what ID number is this? The EV986 is undamaged. Still plenty of ammo. Would you look at that? Hell yeah. Let's occupy Crassers, I suppose. So I do not want to be close enough to the Countsman to be shot by its PD, but we can get pretty close, I imagine. Alrighty. We are on course. How are we feeling? I do not know how many souls are still alive over on DSM. Does DSM need a respawn wave? Because it seems like they are dead. I'm gonna see if I can't turn that off for the simple reason of I don't know if that's copyrighted. Hold on. Audio MIDI. Oh, that doesn't work. Uh-oh. Boy, I hope Twitch doesn't slap me around for that music, Lamau. Okay, here we are, here we are. There is no way Bubs is saying NCWL bias in the chat. If you... No way. NCWL bias. Oh, brother. Oh, no. Something hit the left side. Okay. The strongest anti-streamer weapon, the boombox. Literally. Can we say bad words or will Zlink ban us? No slurs, please. Please. Telegnostics. Oh my god, that's so good! Telegnostics is such a good power for... Hell yeah. Well, I don't get what's a playtest. It is a playtest. Ibis is active? Oh. Is that Ibis by the Countsman active? I got don't. Please. You know what? Just for a little bit, I'm just going to... Whoop, I need to change how that is. Hold on 1 second. There we go. That is my my chat cover. It's when I think it might be a problem. I will press it if it gets an issue. And I don't want to do that because chat is cool. Not anymore, says Vladimir. Okay. Well, seems like we're doing a pretty good job, huh? So what did we run over, my friend? I think that 50mm must have done some bad damage to the Ibis because they didn't move away from the Vanguard piloted by Breakster Chains. What do you mean run over? There was a thump. Perhaps another puppy? We saw a bit of fender bender on the left side. Interesting. You just throwing glass? Interesting. Alright, let's try to get on this axis here. We are way past Craster's grave, taking up a spot between the Houndsman and Crasters. Good old blockade. How is Valeska this time of year? How is Valeska? We vibing over there? Eh? Valeska is quiet. Alright. To make a few drinks so the union workers get a little more rowdy. We deserve it today. The geniuses back at Port have somehow created a block of soap less edible than a wrapper. What the very fun. Alright. Vanguard is turning back. Status Vanguard EV 083? No, 038. I can actually eat the wrapper, but not the scalp. This is cinema. Amazing. That is so funny. There is none. Yes, apologies. Alright. Let's see. Any cups aboard? Let's take a peek. What do we have here? Oh, lag. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna send this because I'm getting some lag. Alrighty. More crates, more air tanks. Air tank, yeah. Taking them. Now make yourself useful. The ibis is moving. Ah, ibis is moving. Okay. General quarters. Whoa. Well done. Unleashing our guns. Oh no. Oh shit. We took a border. One moment. Oh, let's look in the bag. Hold on. That's hilarious. Amazing. Who does that? Your docking ports work, right? It should have. Yeah. I mean, we undocked. Fine. Is this unanchored? Yep, it is unanchored. Hold on. Pile occupied by what? Hold on. Air on. Please don't tell me the bullet holes are blocking it. Hold on, wait a minute. Cutting. Oh, I need a screw. Whoa, don't fly off, please. Okay, the Laylips is moving. Repairing guns. Okay, anchored. Very good. Next up here. Anchored. Okay, we are combat effective. Let's get back to the actual fight now, eh? Laylips was moving, they said? Okay. That it is. Let's go intercept, huh? To intercept Lalops. Very good. I have handcuffs. Hold on. There. There we go. And we have handcuffs. How nice. We have a defib. We have body bags at least. Make sure they don't rot. Left side room. Okay, Ibis is moving there. Uh-huh. Oh, I'm still on anchor. Silly me. They're in one. Good. Okay, intercept that Ibis. That Lalops is active, I can see. Hold on, push in. We want to get as close as possible because we have a better gyro than the Ibis, I believe. Okay, okay. Line up. Start firing. Here we go. Contact. Okay, there. That should be hitting him pretty good. Oh yeah, this is the good stuff. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Load. That Lalops is. Hold on, turn. Whoa! Oh my god, that was just out of range. Okay, turn. Wow, that hurt. Okay. In we go! In we go! To victory, okay? Ow! Okay, we have a breach. Our gyros can't stop venting. Okay, that's bad. They have at least taken damage. Anchor. Yeah, we can't stop with the angular velocity. Oh my god. Okay, okay. Holy fuck, this is wild. Who do we have else around here? Can't stop venting. Okay, hold on. Who went down? Someone dead? Oh, air. Come on. We got a bail, dog. But uh-oh, the lag is getting bad. I can't move. Oh no. Oh no, I can't move. I cannot move, and that's space. Holy fuck. I can't move. Oh shit. Holy fuck! They rammed us! I've got to disconnect and reconnect. Hold on, hold on. Okay, hopefully I don't die by the time I come back. Come on, hopefully we're good, hopefully we're good. Please. I beg you! Oh no, it's taking a while to kick back in. This is bad. We are alive! We are alive! Okay, holy fuck. Whoa! Oh, I'm quit. Shit. Aw, what a shame. You all fought well. Oh my god, there was nothing left. Ibis is completely gone. How is the Laylips? I'm assuming undamaged from shielding. They lost a little thrust. Yep, okay. Rest in peace. Wow. Okay. I can't copy paste. Hold on. Well, it is a bit unfortunate, but also very in character for lag to be my death. More or less, anyway. Whoa, holy shit, lag. Whoa. Alright. I'm assuming the pilot here is dead. Chad McBride is dead, okay. I don't see another Imperial, but I do see the ID out. And there is an Imperial there, okay. So, I believe that ramming is no good for the client. Rest in peace, Silksong Freemoth. Okay, I'm gonna be so real, right? We killed a good bit here. We destroyed that Ibis, even though it rammed us, but still, they were disabled enough that they wanted to ram us. The Laylips is a little damaged. We killed another Ibis earlier. A Redemptor? That is a great record for anyone on this crew, and like Silksong Freemoth, I think you did good. You did alright. Do not worry a bit. To be fair, we also killed like 5 Imperials. You did no damage to my Ibis fully. Alright. Well, I'm just gonna say this, right? Your Ibis is currently completely destroyed. Y'all landed this for the sake of it. That's still a disabled Imperial ship, and I'm happy for it. There was those ships earlier, though. At least we got body bags and everything. Indeed. I want to see if I get healed and put into the Imperial brig. That'll be cool. Are they going to find Silksong here? I hope so. Okay, they're about to walk over it. Hold on. There you go, you found one. Oh no! Come on! You got this. I believe the Laylips killed me, not the Ibis, from shooting down here. I think I got killed by the Laylips instead of the Ibis. The Ibis rammed, but I didn't die from the ram itself. Alright, let's see how Valeska's doing real quick. Valeska. What the fuck? Oh. They're in space, okay. They have... oh, they're attacking. Okay, they're attacking. Interesting. They do not have... They have spare ammo. Okay, okay. We might be saved here. Can this one Vanguard destroy the Laylips? That would be cool. I'm up for that. You know, I think we would have gotten a lot less done if I hadn't put those 2 extra gyroscopes on. Wow. Very cool. Oh, I am assuming I saw bodies there. Oh, I'm being left? Okay. I believe then they just grabbed the Imperial here. Yes, there it is. That's fun lops though, that's fun lops. I approve of that, that's cool. Mime? Oh, they stole the hard suit. Hmm. Okay, they are bringing the bodies, interesting. Alright, that Vanguard is approaching. Here we go. Do they know about it though? Do they know? Oh, this is gonna be Peem. Is anyone manning the console? No, they are not. They are far away from the console, actually. This Vanguard is going to get free hits. This Vanguard might actually be able to kill... Oh, they're on it. They're on it. No. You can't do that. Lame. It's my playtest. Spits in your face. Crying about it right now. Okay, well the Vanguard is here anyway. The shield is down. Here we go. Shots are in. High explosive. Whoop, accident. Whoopsie. I... Okay, they are turning around to fight. They are attacking. Alright, I want to watch Trickster Chain's side a little bit more because this is where the damage is going to be really felt. Alright, they are... Both shots coming in. And just like that, they have reduced thrust? No? Okay, there's some phasing. There is phasing. Oh shit. Not the phasing, no! Are they pointing the right way? They are. Powered? Powered, yes. Oh, the anticipation. More shots in. Huge barrage. Starting to properly do damage. Reverse thrust is half effective now. Shots coming out from the Vanguard. Small burst. Lots more damage coming in. Huge explosion. That is... Okay, that is bad. I don't remember what that was in the corner. Shit. They still have power in the back. More damage going in. Oh, power is disabled? Fuck. I think that's a substation that went out. The disabled. That's so unfortunate. Why is the substation in the front? Ah, who knows. Let's take a peek if the Laylips sustained any damage. Have a machine frame there. Okay, so pretty much no. Anyone else alive? No, okay. I'm pretty okay with this. This is the last stand of the NCWL in the region. Have the flare out. Laylips is pulling away. Okay. Oh, and that's round end. Okay. There it goes. That is, I would say, an Imperial victory, though there were a bunch of respawns. Mm-hmm. Huge haunts. Wow, look at all this. That is a lot. Okay. I'm noticing something here, and that is a lot more Imperials died than NCWL. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, hold on. Let's just count dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, okay, and for NCWL, 1, 2, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6? So almost even, but there are more Imperials dead though. Okay. Fair enough. It'll buff out. Good thing I invested in the extra armor. Mm-hmm. Oh, we have the dead here. Hello, Tiberius and Oliver Benoit. You kidding? Oh, cauterizer. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It works too, if I remember correctly. I can't believe that backpack we saw earlier. That was mental. Truly, who has a backpack like that? I'm noticing no lot from DSM currently. What a shame. They do not have a substation, so I am just pretty worried about that. They can change to MV though? Change to medium voltage? Yep, there you go. Okay, that works. Down, but not out. Wow, look at all this. Also, the what's it called? Gravity is also out. Didn't notice that before. Whew. Good fighting with y'all. Indeed. We live again. Hell yeah. And all the cannons are powered. Fuck yeah, okay. We're back, baby. Mime has died? What? Oh. No way, no way! The Vanguard approaches. Glory to the League. Here we go. The last stand. Whew, what a good pass. Let's take a peek, Laylips. How's the damage? Oh, there is actually damage here. Their thrusters are completely out. They are venting. Oh, they have unpowered weapons here. One at least. Okay. How about that? Well done. Clap, clap. They have a catapult cruise missile platform. Woo! How the hell did the generator connect? Did you change it to MV? I'm not sure. Connected to the... Unsure. Oh, they're still pumping shots into the Vanguard. That's funny. Wow. Oh, Icarus forgot to turn it off. Alright, well, that should be ending the playtest for today. What a lovely time we shared together here. That is a nice, clean 2 hours of Holrot. Holrot's death was extremely exaggerated. Hell yeah. Well, I suppose I'll just quickly move over to here. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a fantastic time playing here. A very good fight from all parties involved, both Imperial and NCWL, and I am so glad to see that Holrot is still around and doing things. Alright. I will see you all next time there's a playtest, as long as I'm awake at least. I'll see you all again sometime soon. Alright, goodbye.